thank our Senator Alessandro Biaggi for making sure that Mount Vernon is not only on the map but a part of the conversation. It's very important that we recognize that code enforcement is life or death. And in Mount Vernon, we have a shocking statistic where 44% of our properties were involved in a fire incident. That's a huge number. And we want to make sure you know that the city is very grateful for your leadership on this matter. We desire to continue this conversation. And before we dive into a few of the things that we'd like to bring to your attention, I just want to introduce who's with me. To my right is Chantel O'Carter. She's the Commissioner of Planning, as well as the Executive Director of the Urban Renewal Agency. To my left is the Commissioner of Fire. This is Teddy Beal. He's been with the Fire Department for how many years? 46 years. So we have a wealth of experience with us at the table, as well as to my far right is Omundi Odera. He is the one and only inspector for the city of Mount Vernon. About 80,000 people, 4 square miles. It's ridiculous, I know. So in the correspondence that we point out the common and uncommon challenges we face. Also to my far left is Kim Knox. Kim is recently been promoted into the role of housing inspector in the building department. She's getting trained up, fully certified, but still getting cards. But nonetheless, just want to begin with David Dinkins. Mayor Dinkins said you can tell whether or not a community cares or a city cares about its community if the block is clean, if the homes are well kept, if the sidewalks are straight. But if it's filthy, full of just burnt out abandoned buildings, it's clear that the government doesn't care. So like you, like him, the city of Mount Vernon believes that our neighborhood should be clean and zombie-free. These zombies, they suck the life out of property values, and they invite all sorts of negative activity that harm quality of life. And we have an exaggeration, per se, of what the situation is like, with a picture of Count Dracula with a werewolf greeting the neighbor, because that's exactly what neighbors experience when they see these zombie homes overrun with mosquitoes and rats and birds, etc. So we do our best to communicate with the neighborhoods about what we're doing and how we're working with you in specific on trying to make sure that we keep the neighborhoods clean. And one of the things that we've done with the leadership of Commissioner O'Carter, our zombie task force, which is a cross-cutting task force of police, fire, buildings, law, public works, water. We go and visit these various locations in town, and we apply everything that you're asking us, from the building block software that was given to us, access to through the New York State Attorney General's office, which we're very thankful for, but also the laws that you passed, holding banks and derelict property owners accountable. On January 15th, we levied penalties and fines using state and local laws on 44 bank-owned properties. As of March 15th, the fines and penalties reached over $4 million. Today, those fines approximately are $8.5 million. Our goal is to do what you intended, punish the banks, to do something with the properties. And our objective is to reclaim those parcels and auction them off to middle-class, hard-working families. That's something that we believe we can do. We're going to continue to push it. We ask you to monitor this progress, and we've been keeping Senator Biaggi's office updated as to what we've been doing to be vigilant on this. As I mentioned, we have some common and uncommon challenges. Common, yes, resources, priorities. We're very limited on resources, but the priorities, uncommon. For some reason, the funding for our operations by our city council does not include monies to hire inspectors. Even though these roles pay as you go, that's an internal, baseball thing, but we do believe that we're going to win that game for the people in Mount Vernon, and hopefully our colleagues will fund the operations much more adequately. Moving on, I just want to point out 2 things and turn it over to Commissioner O'Carter. We know, as I already described, that zombie homes, they suck the life out of neighborhoods. They prevent our beautiful gardens from blooming, and we believe we have to take every measure to prune and rid our neighborhoods of these zombies. And there are 2 points I just want to suggest. One is perhaps New York State Senate can think about giving communities, cities like Mount Vernon, an additional tool to deal with these zombie properties. Perhaps we can explore measures or laws that would require insurance companies to pick up the tab, to require the homeowner, be it a burnt out parcel, they get their insurance check, they disappear. Or perhaps there could be a more stringent requirement to say you have to deal with this, you have to maintain it, you just can't take your money and run. Another one could be thinking about investing in the database to complement telemetry software building blocks. They have an internal aggregate system that helps municipalities like ours deal with all the data and synthesize it. Maybe there's another software platform that can help create a end user interface on the constituent layer that can kind of blend the systems per se and help us even better communicate and have them use some real simple measures of connectivity. But with that, I just want to say thank you again. We understand this is the beginning of the conversation. We'll continue the conversation. And with that, I'll just yield to Commissioner O'Carter and then Commissioner Beal if they want to add anything in addition.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for allowing us to speak.